So k is equal to the square root of y times w times h over 5. All right, remember we're talking about what's affecting everything else, the shoe first, then the socks off. Then, so same thing, same concept here. What's affecting everything here over this side? Look over this side. What's affecting everything over here? What operation?
The square root.
The square root. So you have to move that first. When you transpose it to the other side, what it becomes?
Squared.
Squared. Very good. So y times w times h over 5, right? When it's variables, you can just put them like that. You don't have to put the multiplication sign. To get rid of square root, what do we use? Square, right? The reverse of
Yes,
square
sir.
root is square. This is called what? Square root. I mean, when you have a 2 in front, right here, it's called a square root. Typically, we don't put the 2 there, but it means square root. Right? If we want a cube root, we put a 3 there instead. So the name of the symbol itself is a radical symbol. When we do have a number, we imply that there's a 2 there. So we get rid of a square root with a square. We get rid of a cube root with a cube. Okay, so if we have a cube root, what we do get rid of it? Cube. Okay, and that's when we have this little symbol here, square, letter, and cube, right? To the power of second power, to the third power, cube. All right, so for me to get rid of this, I'm going to use square. So I'm going to square this side, get rid of the square root. So this square cancels out the square root, and I square this side as well. K squared is equal to y times w times h over 5. Now it seems as if the square root was transposed to the other side as square. That's all. All right, what's the next step? Remember, I'm trying to make y the subject. What operation is affecting everything else? We have division and multiplication. Which one is affecting everything else?
Division.
Division. So for me to get rid of, what do I use to get rid of division?
You multiply.
Multiplication. I'm not using the transposing method, I'm using the balance method. So what I do to one side, I do to the next. So I'm dividing everything by 5, right? So to get rid of this, I'm going to multiply everything by 5. And we do that to both sides. Notice it doesn't matter which side you multiply by 5. Whether it's 5 times k squared or k squared times 5, it doesn't matter. It's commutative. Order doesn't matter. But the idea is, I got rid of this 5. I'm getting rid of this 5 by multiplying by 5. Because this 5 is actually dividing everything. So the reverse of it is to multiply by 5. So what this does is that this is in the numerator. A whole number is in the numerator if put it over 1. So 5 cancels out 5. And 5 times k squared is 5k squared. And this will left me y times w times h. All right. So I'm at the last step now. As simple as that. What do we do here now, guys? What I'm trying to find is y. Collectively, we can pair any two and consider them to be a term. For instance, I can say y is really multiplied by wh, even though I know this is really y times w times h. But I can take any two and consider them to be one thing, like w times h as wh. Still saying w times h. But I'm saying wh is multiplying y. Since I want to make y the subject, I'm considering that wh collectively as a term is multiplying y. So what I'll do, I'll divide both sides by what? wh. Collectively, they are multiplying y, right? Understand that so far?
Yes, sir.
So the w cancel w, and h cancel h. And that leaves me back with what on this side?
Just the y.
Just the y. Show a quick shortcut. Rather than writing the y on this side and then switch it around, we can just simply write the y here equal, and then put this on the other side as in 5k squared divided by wh. So I have now I have my what? Y as the subject of the formula. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. How will we make W the subject though? W the subject. Same steps, right? How will we make W the subject? Balance method still, or I want to use the transposing method for this one?
You can use a transposing method for that.
Okay, so transpose a square root over as what? Square.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna get k squared, right? Is equal to w y w h over 5. What we're gonna do now? Transpose what? The 5
The
over
5.
from what? Division to what?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So it'd be 5 k squared. It's multiplying k squared equals y w h. What's my next step now? I want to find what? Make
W.
w the subject, right? Alright, so we're gonna divide by what?
YH.
Right. So we're gonna divide collectively by YH. That's what you were saying, McAllister. I'm dividing by YH because Y and H are multiplying W. Go ahead, McAllister. You have a question? Or are you saying something?
No.
All right. So, in other words, I could have written the YWH as what? WHY, ain't it? I don't like how that looks. I look like the question why, but yeah. And I want to find, so I could have written it like this. This is the same thing as 5k squared equal YWH. Just that the order doesn't matter with multiplying, remember? WHY, same thing as YWH or YHW. Doesn't matter the order for multiplication. So I'm dividing by YH. You see, the order doesn't matter. So the YH cancel, HY cancel YH because they're the same thing over YH. So we got the same answer. That W. Remember we want W as a subject. Yeah. So Y cancel Y, H cancel H. So we have W equals 5k squared over YH. Alright. Do I need to make H a subject, or you guys got the point already?
We get the point.
Alright.
You got the point.
Okay, so let's make, so for the one with Y being the subject, let's look at the answer. What was the answer? Y equals 5k squared over WH, right? So let's draw that back. Y equals 5k squared over WH. Now they want us to find the value of what? So for part D. So we just work, this is from part D. Right, this is part D. Part 1. This is the answer we got when Y is the subject. So now that Y is the subject, they want us to find the value of Y. So we want to find the value of Y. Given that K is 4, so what we're going to do, put 5 here. Where we have K, we're going to replace it and put what? 4. Put a square outside the bracket, right? Some person, when they substitute in, they put the square inside. No. You're substituting, you're replacing only K, not K squared. You're giving the value for K. So it's 5 times the square of K. But so what is K? 4. Over W times H. What's W? W is 10.
10 in the bracket.
And bracket.
8 in the bracket.
And H, yeah, the H put in bracket. H is what? 8, right?
Yeah.
Some person might say, but if you replace W, shouldn't put W in bracket? Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have this. Look. 10 times 8 is the same thing as what? 10 times 8. The same thing as what? 8 times 10. Right? Doesn't matter. So you can just leave one outside and put one inside. It's still, once you're showing that you're multiplying the two things. Only if you had a power on both, then you would need to make sure you use a bracket. Especially when dealing with negatives. Now what answer is that? What's the answer here now? The calculator can help you with this easily.
80.
80? You sure? I know that 10 times 8 is 80. 16 times 5 is what?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh. Okay. You can put the whole thing in the calculator, you know. You can put the whole thing in the calculator. You can put this like 5. Put this in bracket. 5 times 4
So it's
squared
going to be 80 over 80 equals 1.
divided by 10 times 8 and put this in bracket.
So the numerator would be 80 as well, so it will be equal to 1, as Mikhail said.
Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, good. All right, and that's it for the algebra. That's it for the algebra. In terms of the equation and inequation. We did the expression already, right? So that's it for that. The algebra is not so tough.
Excuse me back, please.
Huh?
Wait, so what is the value for y?
Oh, y is equal to 1. Because we found the formula in part D already. So all we're doing here was just to replace, they asked us to find the value of y. Once we transposed already, now they ask us hence or otherwise, meaning that to use our answer from the previous part. And find y now that we know that k is equal to 4, w is equal to 10, and h is equal to 8. So just replace those variables with these values, and we're able to find what y is. That's substitution.
Sir,
Yeah?
we couldn't hear you.
Oh, no, I
What did
was...
you?
I wasn't saying anything because I think you guys say you want to wait. You guys want to write off something, no?